I've got some thoughts about how people typically talk about who's talented and who's not. You know, who has natural talent, who was born with talent and who wasn't. Aside from a couple rare exceptions, I think that no one is really born with more talent in anything than anyone else. I'm sure someone could make an intelligent argument about body types for certain activities, or some people being more susceptible to certain diseases, for instance. But aside from those cases, we really forget that things are built little by little over time. So I'll give you an example from my own life. Sometimes I feel like I should be better at animating characters and just animation in general. But I'm probably comparing myself to someone who grew up this far from the TV screen. You know, they were just fascinated with every little movement in the animated shows that they were watching growing up. I definitely watched animated shows, but I was kind of indifferent. I wasn't fascinated by the art form. I wasn't really fascinated by the art form of video until much later. Really until I started watching skateboard and snowboard videos. Even then, it wasn't the filmmaking side of that fascinated me, it was the actual subjects in the frame. Because all of this might be more about the things that you're consuming on a daily basis. The videos that you're consuming, the music you're consuming, the time that you're spending with your friends and who those friends are. Because if you're really looking to get good at soccer, say, and all of your friends are also playing soccer and they're maybe a little bit more skilled than you are, your skills are going to increase that much faster because you're spending so much time with them. You're gonna be playing soccer with them constantly, and your skills are gonna increase little by little until you get really good. So I'd say whatever you're trying to get good at, if you can recognize that you have people around you that are better at that thing than you, or maybe not even better, but they're just more experienced. They've spent more time, they've put in their time. Because if you're just starting out, a lot of the people that we compare ourselves to have been at it for 10 to 20 plus years. And it's not realistic to make that comparison, and I don't think that any amount of extra hustle can minimize all of those years of experience. You're not gonna hustle really hard for 6 months and get to where someone who has been working at it constantly for 20 years, you're not gonna get to where they are just in 6 months, no matter how hard you try. So identify those people and try to surround yourself with more of them. Try to surround yourself with them more regularly. Maybe you work with them and you try to set aside more time to try to learn from them. But if you find yourself not surrounded by people who are more experienced than you might have to go out and find those people. And it can be really intimidating approaching someone who you feel is more experienced than you, especially if you're in a market that you would be in direct competition with them. But I would encourage you not to feel like you're competing with them, not to feel like you have to prove yourself and be better than them, but you can feel like you can reach out to them and maybe suggest some way of collaborating with them. And it goes back to what one of my friends always says, compare to despair. When you start comparing, it never ends well, but you can kind of switch that and say, how can I learn from this person? How can I collaborate with them? And you'd be surprised at how many people would be open to actually collaborating. All right, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.